Welcome to Julie's Infinite Playlist. Today we have Call Me King. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
We're meh. Solid meh out of 7.
Doing okay? You guys want to introduce yourselves and what instruments you play?
I'm Joel, and I play vocal cords, generally.
I'm Sam, I play bass.
I'm Zach, I play lead guitar.
You had to throw a lead in. I mean, you do, but...
Here's the thing, I knew it would annoy you, that's why I did it. So,
Hi, my name's Ruben, I play rhythm guitar.
he plays rhythm guitar.
Rhythm guitar,
It's less.
specifically.
And I'm Brian, and I play drums.
Brian's
That's...
Yeah, I know. That's
Brian is not here.
that was why I did it.
That's exactly what he sounds like, though.
The way
Oh,
he
gee.
speaks, he sounds like a Ruben took helium.
Dude, honestly, yeah.
Brian, I love you.
I second
We love
that.
you, Brian.
You're here in spirit.
Where did the name come from?
The band name?
Yes.
Call Me King? We were actually just talking about that. It's from a book. Without going into all the details, basically, this guy who is legally a king gets thrown in prison, and they ask him what his name is, and he says, "Call me King," as like a joke. Like, he's in prison, he doesn't have control over anything. He's like, "Call me King." And starts going insane. And so that's where the name came from originally.
Nice. Very cool. And how did each of you get into music?
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
When I was a wee lad, many moons ago, many harvests ago,
About 13 years ago.
several winters. No, it was longer than that. I'm 29 now. I started playing music when I was like 10 or 11. So it's been like 18 years. 18 years. I don't know. It was elementary school going into middle school, and then they told us, like, hey, if you want to play in band, just, go to this thing. And I went to the thing, and I was like, I really want to play saxophone. And they're like, no, you can't start on saxophone because that's not a starter instrument. You have to start on clarinet. And so I was like, all right, fine, I'll start on clarinet and stuff. Yeah, I know. It was weird.
Pretty much how that works, honestly.
And then I played clarinet for a while, and then when I was like, hey, I'm good enough to switch to saxophone, can I switch to saxophone? They were like, yeah, but we really still need good clarinet players. So then I stopped caring, and then in high school I got on drumline.
Yeah.
And everything changed from there. Fire Nation attacked.
As it does.
Yeah. Because I wanted to play drums originally. I was a huge Slipknot fan. I love Joey Jordison. But I'm terrible behind a kit for some reason. So then I started playing bass instead because I couldn't do chords on guitar. And now here I am playing guitar in a band. What happened?
Musical slut.
Yeah. I started out in band, much like Ruben did, playing trumpet. And yeah, that was all right. Like, I didn't super enjoy that too much. But then, like, I played Guitar Hero when I was, like, 12. And then my parents were like, hey, you're entirely too good at this. Here's, like, a real instrument. And I was like, okay. And then I just learned that. And then...
And they say Guitar Hero can't teach you how to play guitar.
It got the hand-eye coordination down pretty well, I must say.
Let's see. I was in 6th grade, and...
So, like, last year?
What?
So, like, last year?
Yeah, something like that. And all of my cousins play drums. All of them. And so I was like, well, I want to play something. I'll play drums, I guess. And, like, they were into, like, like Metallica, Lamb of God, Slayer, and all the bands that I'm really not into. Yeah. And I don't know. Just kind of grew from there. And then I was like, I don't want to play drums. I want to be in the front. And so I started playing guitar, and I was like, this shit sucks. I hate this. And then some kid left his bass at my house, and then he never came to get it back, and I just started playing on the bass, and then, yeah.
Did you beat that kid up and steal his bass?
No.
And then he got too scared to go back?
Maybe.
That's totally what happened. Sam beat somebody up for the bass.
Hell yeah. It was an Ibanez.
I That's
all I
headcanon
know.
now.
Was it Ibanez Geo?
Probably. I don't fucking know.
I feel like
I love
people
Ibanez,
have
though.
Ibanez Geo somewhere in their house.
I used to, and then I traded it for a GameCube.
Sounds about right. That was a good trade, actually. That's
That was-
probably
Yeah,
pretty
I
solid.
came out
Yeah.
way on top there.
Did it have Animal Crossing with it?
No, but it had a Melee
Okay.
and
Solid trade.
Wind Waker.
Okay, hella solid trade.
Yeah, I came out way on top
I
there.
traded my Geo for 2 hard shell cases, so
That's a pretty good trade too, on your part.
2 things that hold a guitar.
Here's the thing: we're trashing on Ibanez Geos and stuff,
Don't we play
rightfully
one?
so. No,
Oh, I don't know what we play.
Ibanez guitars though, like their legit guitars, are super dope,
Yeah.
and I love them. They're super dope.
They're very good for speed metal and shit, which is my shit. So
My first
I
5-string
appreciate
bass
that.
was an Ibanez. It was a
Was that the one that's hanging in the-
you the
SR505.
one that broke?
The one that I broke, yeah.
How did it break?
The preamp on it screwed up somehow. I'm actually gonna blame Rick because I let him borrow it, and then when he gave it back to me, it wasn't working anymore. So it's his
Yeah,
fault.
it's all Rick's fault.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Joel, how'd you get into music?
So I was 8 and homeschooled and super awkward, and my mom was like, "You're gonna learn how to play
Nothing's
piano,"
changed.
because we had like an antique upright piano that, by the way, has never been tuned. Sitting in the house. So
This explains so much.
I learned how to play. I went to lessons, and literally they were showing me songs that had like 5 notes in them, and it was super boring to me. So I did that for about a year, and then I was like, I don't want to take lessons anymore. And my mom got mad at me. She's like, you got to learn something. I was like, fine, I'll go buy a guitar. And then obviously I didn't have any money, and eventually my dad and mom chipped in to get me like a $50 guitar or something like that. And then been playing that for 14, almost 15 years now. Just kept on learning different things. I'm way better at piano now than I was when I actually played piano and had lessons because, like I said, everything's 3 notes. There's very little challenge.
Yeah.
Especially when they're all out of tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
And how did the band come together?
Craigslist?
Yeah.
I posted a Craigslist ad.
Under Men Seeking Men,
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, where else are you going to post it?
right?
So that's what that was.
Now to clarify, I posted a Craigslist ad under Men Seeking Men.
But I was seeking men.
So that's just giving you a full story there. Ruben finds it and messages me. He's like, "Hey, I play bass. Let's jam." And I came over to this house, and the day I came over was apparently like the second time that Ruben and Zach met each other.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I
Close
thought
to
they
it.
knew each other. I was like, okay, these guys are clearly tight, whatever. And we jammed a little bit, and I told them, like, you guys are good. I'm down to play with y'all. And Zach was like, nope, not doing that.
Yeah.
And Ruben's like, okay, maybe. And then we called our original lead guitarist, and I got him over here to jam. And then Zach's like, oh, they're actually doing something. I might join up with this.
It's so interesting to see Joel's perspective
Yeah.
and
For me, I was
the
like-
inaccuracies.
I was super not into it at first, just because I didn't really at the time, I was like a jaded metalhead, and
Metal elitist.
so, yeah, a metal elitist. That's perfect description. So I was like, oh, they're playing metalcore stuff. I don't want to do any of that shit. And then he brought Brian over, and Brian was really good, and I already knew Ruben was good.
This is a different Brian we're talking about.
Yeah,
too.
different Brian. This is Brian Allen, our former lead guitarist, who is amazing. Hello, Brian. And he came over, they jammed, and I was like, oh, these guys are actually pretty good. And then I think the thing that eventually ended up selling me was Joel had an electronic press kit, which to me is like, oh, they actually have goals and aspirations and shit. Like, that's like the first time I've seen a band with that. And so I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I'll play rhythm guitar for you. And yeah, now we're here.
I guess how I joined the band was Ruben added me on Facebook and was like, hey, go like my band. And I didn't respond to that because I was like, how the fuck are you just going to add me and then not not say, hey, what's up?
Because I'm a whore.
It was just like, hey, like my band. And then I completely forgot about him. Forgot that he existed. And then like 3 days later, 4 days later, I see a status saying, "Hey, any drummers in the San Antonio, Austin area?" And I was like, "I'm a drummer in the San Antonio area." And then set up a date for
Didn't
practice.
Gibby tag you in that?
Huh?
Didn't Gibby tag you in that status?
One, I don't know who that is.
Gilbert Vara from Postcards from the Moon?
Oh, okay. No, he didn't. I just saw it. And then, because we were
I thought
friends.
somebody tagged you.
No.
Oh.
And when I got here, mind you, Ruben's a midget. So when I saw him, I thought he was like 17, 16 years old. And I was like, "Hey, man, you live here with your parents?" He's like, "This is my house." I was like, "Oh, all right." And
Meanwhile, Sam's 3 times my size, lives with his parents, and calls me daddy.
I fucking love my parents, dude. They're awesome. What's it called? And then they never told me, it was like, "Yeah, you're in." They were just like, "Don't fuck up. Don't miss practice." And it's been like that for a little over a year now. And I couldn't be happier. So it's great.
Nice. Very cool.
But he doesn't play drums anymore.
Yeah, I don't play
Yeah, he plays bass now.
I got demoted. Brian got hired, and everyone else got promoted.
I ended up in this band. The only reason I was looking for a band to play in is because my old pop punk band, Dancing with Geppetto, here's your plug, went on hiatus, and I was like, I can't not keep playing music right now.
Yeah.
So I was looking for something. I was looking for something new, you know. I was fresh out of a relationship. I needed, you know, a rebound.
Occupy your
And
time.
Joel was my rebound.
Yeah.
But then Geppetto got back together, too, and that was dope.
Yeah.
That was really dope.
That was a
Yeah,
dope
okay.
time.
Wow. And I dragged
Already
Zach
fucking
into that,
good,
too. Yeah.
That album, though, is fucking awesome.
It is nice.
We picked up Brian after our tour with Emery last year. We crashed at his house on the Dallas date for that tour. And we've known that he's a phenomenal drummer for years now. And he was showing interest in playing with us. And at the time, we were only a 4-piece. And we had room for him technically, but it would require shifting some things around. And so
Literally everybody.
Yeah.
changing
Yeah,
except
yeah.
Joel.
we took it under consideration for like 2 weeks and stuff. And was like, yeah, we have to do this.
Yeah,
Hey, Sam, sorry, bro.
I remember that, too. It was like Zach was taking me home one day. It was like, "Hey, like, do you just want to play bass for us?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that's what happened. And
Yeah.
that was it. It never, like, I never thought twice about it. It
A
was just like,
solid
yeah.
70% of my consideration for bringing Brian into the band and moving Sam to bass was, I'm going to have to not play bass anymore. I don't know if I can be okay with that. And, I mean,
I was like, nah, you'll be fine. It's cool.
yeah.
I mean, so far, it's been going pretty good.
What are you talking about? You argued constantly. Where the whole time you were like, "But what about songs like this? And what about like the fast parts?" And the only thing that made you okay was like, I play guitar too. And you went, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we're good." Like we had like 7 conversations where you were like, "I don't know, Ruben's."
I mean, I wasn't confident in my guitar playing abilities either.
That was the
I
thing.
never thought I'd be able to play silence.
Mind you, I haven't played bass since my sophomore year in high school, so that was like almost 6 years ago. Like, I still had the bass itself, just because I'm not going to give it away or anything, you know?
Right.
It's my thing. My object. And then, yeah. It was pretty good.
I mean, I wouldn't expect you to give it away. I'd expect you to sell it for a tattoo the size of a dime.
Yeah, honestly.
Anthony Kiedis would expect you to give it away now.
Maybe a chess piece, but not the size of a dime.
I don't know. Tattoos are getting pretty expensive. now.
Thanks, Zach.
That's why I don't get tattoos.
Do you remember the name of the first band you were in?
Oh, God.
I do.
I'm-
And you know what's even worse? I know where to find it on Zanga, too. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Man.
The first band I was in was a band we called Fictional Lottery. I played drums.
You suck.
At the time, one of my best friend's sisters played bass. And then we had our good friends, Amy, who's a phenomenal guitarist, playing guitar. We did 2 rehearsals, except one of them we didn't rehearse. We just ate pizza because we were like 14.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we had a Zanga page, and that was it. That was 100% of it.
So you don't need to have played shows for this?
No.
Yeah.
No, you literally have just put a name on
Form
the
a
band,
band.
and that's your first. Yeah.
All right. I was like the guitar guy at my school. Like, me and this guy, really weird dude named Parker, were the only two who played any instruments well. And so we all had a music class together and were required to do performances, and everybody else was playing like those same 3-note piano songs that everybody learned.
Yeah.
And then we went in and did like a full track, the two of us together, where we were both playing guitar back and forth. And a couple of my friends who were basically not musicians wanted to start a band, and they were like, "We saw you do that. You should come play guitar." The band was called Barrier Between Planets. I still don't know what that means. Like, I asked them, I was like,
I know exactly what that means.
Like, like the barrier, it's like the atmosphere. And I'm like,
It's not a barrier.
so stupid. And then we practiced a few times. We took promo photos.
Nice.
Oh,
I
man.
booked a show, and no one showed up.
Nice.
And I played guitar on stage by myself.
I mean, why not?
Well, first band I was in that was fully formed, like there were people that I jammed with in like middle school that we'd never really formed a name or anything around. But then in high school, I met my buddy Daniel. Shouts out to Daniel. He was a great drummer. And my buddy Marcus, who played bass. We all got together. We were all like really edgy death metal kids. And so we made a thrash metal, death metal combo band called Thirst for Violence. And we were very...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Thirst for violence.
Yes. It was.
How do I quench it?
It was.
My thirst for violence.
It's like that, but with black metal vocals, basically. Like,
How do I quench it? My thirst for
no,
violence.
more like just like super high pitch. Like, think of what you imagine a banshee would sound like.
I know what you were getting at. The only thing I can think about, though, is a banshee from Halo.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I know exactly what that sounds like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I know exactly what that sounds like. That's a horrible vocalist.
Yeah.
We were totes brutal stuff.
Oh my god.
It was nice.
My first band was called Survive the Day.
Did you?
No. I was the bassist
Rip in pieces,
in that
Sam.
band, and we played one show, and it was extremely awful. And it was at the 1011 in San Antonio, and there's not much to say to that. Like, 'cause we were doing sound check, and we didn't even know what time we were performing. Like, they didn't give us a set time. Nothing was posted, right? So, like, we got there first, because, it was our first show. We got there first, and...
Nerds.
Yeah. Apparently now I know everyone's fucking 2-3 hours late for that shit. So...
Yeah, don't do that, though.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Please don't.
So... they're like, you want to sound check? We're like, yeah. So, like, we get up on stage, and, like, we're sound checking and stuff, and then, like, we get off, mingle with all the other people, and then they're like, okay, y'all can play now. I was like, wait, what? Like, huh? And it was the most awful thing in the world that I've ever done, and I never want to relive that moment ever again.
And how many bands have you been in before Call Me King?
Like real bands, or like just like, hey, we're gonna start a band. This is our name, and then we don't do anything, or like we're bands where we consist like played shows, or like what's the
Played shows.
I guess real bands.
real band? Okay, so three. It was Survive the Day, Hatred and Vengeance, and then Torn Between Tides.
Yeah.
So those are the three I was in before this band.
What about you guys? Other bands.
Not counting bands that I just filled in for a few shows, because I did that a lot in Michigan. I think I was in, technically I'd say 2 bands. There was one that had, like, the second one was actually became a really serious project, but at first we had, like, a revolving door of members where we had our drummer leave, like, 6 days before our first show, got a new drummer in, he learned all the songs, kind of, and then we just played that first show. And then no one who played that first show except me was in the band after that. So,
Wow.
like, it was a lot of different member changes, but technically it was just those 2, I think, that I was actually a member of.
Yeah.
I've been in, like... Go ahead.
This would be my third band, I guess, because there was that high school band that I mentioned already. There was... After that, like, once I left high school, I didn't really know a whole lot of people, so I just kind of made beats in my house. And then met Ruben with Rick, and we formed the Defied Project thing
Yep.
with Troy Bayham and Emmy and all that. And that was my second band, and then this one's the third one. So I've been in like 3 bands.
You've been
total.
in 4, Geppetto.
Well, yeah, but yeah, Geppetto.
What do you mean,
But that was
but?
after. That was after I joined Call Me King. So like, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've been in, I want to say like 5 or 6 or so.
Old.
Defied, Geppetto, and Call Me King, for sure. But those are recent. And then I was in a few bands in high school and stuff.
And the gent band you and Rick have.
Faux Fire's like a side
Faux
project. Or it was. That was going to be a thing, and then it just never really did.
I think I have the least amount of band experience technically at that point. That's really weird.
Well, the least variety of bands that you've
Yeah,
played
that's
in.
true.
But, I mean,
I've played in the fewest bands of all of us. I just played in them for years.
Wow, fair.
And describe your music.
cool with 2 thumbs up. Okay, so you know that GIF of that kid that's like on the internet on a keyboard and they looks at the camera and goes, "That's our music."
Do you say Jif, like the peanut butter?
And that do you mean, do I pronounce it the correct way? Yes, I do.
Start an
I
argument
absolutely
like
do.
It's graphics interface. So
Yeah.
it would be
Do you say
GIF.
scuba diving?
No.
Because it's underwater.
I mean, we've been over this before. If the creators of the format don't agree about
You
it,
mean if they cave in to peer pressure from the internet, like the pansies that they are?
which word is more fun to say? GIF.
No,
all I
that's
care
not
about.
fun. That sounds like you have something stuck in your throat. GIF, GIF.
Having something
GIF,
in your throat
GIF.
is fun.
No.
I wouldn't describe it as fun. But
Okay.
On the other hand,
Back in the 90s when the graphics interchange format first came out, literally nobody argued about it. It was GIF.
Our music is literally this argument personified.
It really is.
It's just the internal struggle of meaningless bullshit that we just put into music. So there's a lot of sad shit, there's a lot of angry shit, but none of it really means anything. And I think that's the
everything.
gist.
Don't forget the booze.
Everything means something.
That's not true at all.
Yeah.
or
If
everything
you look
means
at the
nothing.
lyrics, they're all based in something. If you're looking
Oh.
at the actual musicality,
You mean the music. I was
Yeah.
thinking from a very existential perspective.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if I agree with myself at that point, but overall, Ruben is a 2005 emo kid.
I really am.
To
a
As
T.
am I. It's fine.
has like a punk thrash background and has grown to at least accept some of the like post-hardcore stuff that we're influenced by.
Loosely tolerate is what I would say.
I mean,
You jammed to Under Oath that
Yeah.
one time, like.
Well, Under Oath's an exception because they actually
That
throw
one
down
time.
like really hard.
What about Dance Gavin Dance?
I'm not proud to say that I listen to them, but I do listen to them.
I mean,
And you enjoy it too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mainly just like Tillian, honestly.
Yeah, Tillian is where it's at.
Tillian's the shit. Yeah.
Sam is, in my approximation, he's like all into like crappy music. No other way to put it. Like
I get
his-
shit on
his
a
favorite
daily
artist
basis.
is Justin Bieber.
That's not even remotely true. He's not my favorite artist.
You wear his shirt
He's
to every show.
second
He just
favorite.
really
3
likes that.
shows, and no, I like one album.
Yeah, I was gonna say
One album.
he just really likes that one album.
Now, my favorite artist is Manson, of course. Been a fan of Manson. I was in 5th grade, bro.
He was like
Fan of Manson.
into the like new
He was
Not
a
Charles
youthful
Manson, Marilyn
edgelord.
Manson.
core and like I don't know if you want to call it popcore stuff that's coming out now. That's like,
Sam's our modern metalcore kid.
Yeah,
yeah,
There you go.
pretty much.
You know?
like because like I said, I come from like the Lamb of God. I didn't really like any of that.
I come from
I
the
know
land
it's
down
bad.
under.
And but then I found like a Linkin Park CD. I was like, okay, that's pretty sick. And then like my friends in middle school got me into like Slipknot, and I was like, okay, this is fucking amazing. And then it was like Killswitch, Trivium, Cannibal Corpse, Behemoth, and then like then my cousin.
But now he's
my
really
cousin,
into
He showed me like
Slaves.
Attack and Asking Alexander, and I was like, holy shit. And then I just became a scene kid. I went from like straight up goth to scene kid, like in like a matter of months. And
You would think that's a giant jump. It's really not.
It's really not at
You don't even
all.
know what real scene kids
You
were.
literally
You
just
didn't
started
live
wearing
through-
colors. That's literally all that
I
happened.
guess. I don't know. It was weird.
You don't know what 2008 scene looked like.
I do. I was 2008.
Same.
I saw it
13
and I
in
made fun of those
2008.
people.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I show people pictures of that time period, and they're like, "You look like a hermaphrodite." I believe I showed Zach the picture of me from back then, and he was like, "You look like Ruben wants to have sex with you." That was his immediate response.
I totally forgot about that. I totally
I
said
had, like,
that.
the entire front of my bangs was dyed blonde. I was wearing eyeliner. It was bad.
See, my parents never let me do any of that.
I did
I should-
like black in the front and blonde in the back,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the front was all swoop forward, and then the back was all
Did
spiked.
you rat your hair?
Did I? No. Well,
No.
I mean,
Tase
kind
it?
of, but not really. I just, my hair doesn't like to do.
My hair was just
what I
long.
like to
There
do,
was nothing like
Yeah,
dyed or
my hair was a
special.
little
That
shorter
just-
than
that was
this.
just long as hell.
I remember the day I learned how to tease my hair.
Same.
Changed everything.
It
And
changed.
then the fire nation attacked.
Yeah.
And the scene kids attacked.
And
Yeah,
when the
I'd
world
say,
needed him
like,
most, he vanished.
For me, most of my influences in this genre are like vocal heavy, post-hardcore, metalcore type stuff. More on the post-hardcore side. I also listen to a lot of like just weird stuff like folk and prog rock and stuff like that. So you get a lot of. I think all of us kind of have, except Sam. All of us have a little bit of a prog influence. So
Yeah.
you can
I could
definitely
see that.
from time to time in our music.
If only we were just better.
And I think that you also can see that in the vocals, where it's like it's pretty vocal heavy, but we don't always make the most obvious choices. And we try to do heavy stuff and soft stuff, and most of it's either sad or angry, like Zach said.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good little summarization.
We should write a hangry song.
We
Dude,
should.
I could write a
hired
angry song right now.
Yeah.
Man.
We got pizza.
well, I was about to say,
Got
like,
lots of pizza.
so much pizza. Oh my God.
What are your shows like?
So it goes exactly like this. I'm really, really pissed off at the rest of them, and they're having a good time.
For
Absolutely
no
no
reason.
Honestly,
He's
yeah.
just mad. As Joel likes to call him, he's an angry footstool.
Yeah.
Playing shows, this is going to sound really bad, but playing shows is like clocking in to work for me, and I'm a very driven person when I'm working. I like to get things done and not fuck around and stuff. So like show day, the first few hours until we have everything loaded in and set at the venue is just, it's go time. It's get shit done, go time, make sure that we've got everything, make sure we're 100%, because I want us to appear super professional, because we're trying to be super professional and stuff. So we need to get there early to load in and stuff and all that jazz. And so seeing these guys just like flutter around and like, maybe we
Dude,
should get
I
some
drive
breakfast.
you there.
I
What are you
know,
bitching
I know.
about
Yeah, I don't
You-
think I've ever driven
Zach,
on a show.
shut up. Zach, you are the only person I don't ever get pissed off
Here's the
at.
thing.
Why are you
I
mad
don't
at
even.
me? I live 2 hours away. Fuck off.
Because you're like, what if we did this thing? I'm like, no, just do the
To give
thing.
you a little background, when he says he's like, I want to be early to load in, what happens is I'm like, he says there to be there at 5, and Ruben gets there at like 4, and then he's like, okay, we're here. All right, wait till 5. The promoter won't be there till then. That happened 3 shows ago. The show before that, or the show after that, they got there 45 minutes early to when load-in started. And I had been told by the promoter, you can get here an hour after load-in starts. So I showed up when he told me to get there, and they're like, we've been here for an hour and a half. I'm like, he told me to get here now.
What show was that?
That was one of the Come and Take It shows, the last Come and Take It show we played.
With Vessels?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sick
Oh,
ass
yeah,
band.
when we showed up right on time and loaded in immediately, and then you showed up
It wasn't even immediately. It was
1,000
like
years
30,
later.
about 20, 30 minutes after that.
Oh, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry. But,
Let's put this to rest.
yeah.
I would say that I agree with Ruben in the sense that, like, with shows for me, it's very much like clocking into work. I wouldn't say I chose that mentality as much as that was sort of beaten into me
Sorry.
by band in high school. Because I grew up in Longview, Texas, and their band is very serious about being, like, one of the last military marching bands and stuff like that. So, like, if you were late at all, you were doing PT basically, like for the rest of the day. So that's sort of not something I choose to do, but just a Pavlovian reflex to avoid pain.
I just get really stressed in time crunches and stuff like that, and when we start pushing the envelope of like being on time to where we're going to be late to something, I get super stressed out.
Also,
about it.
that
You know,
doesn't help things.
And so when we're just being really chill and casual about whenever it is that we feel like showing up to a show, that stresses me the fuck out, like super hard.
Stage performance, though, always have a great time on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Impossible to not, really.
Basically, our live shows are me going stupid crazy behind Joel and whoever else, forgetting that I have vocal lines that I got to go do, so racing back to my microphone.
And hitting me in the face with his guitar.
Yeah.
Almost every time.
Joel throws me around like a rag doll.
And trying to get
Try to
Zach's
kiss me.
attention, but he never looks at me.
Okay,
If I tried, I wouldn't
That's a lie.
succeed.
you're right.
This is true.
But we stay energetic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to say. You know?
Very, very punk ethos, I would say.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yes, quite.
Yeah, shows for me really aren't all that stressful. Like once I'm at the show, I get to drop everything. Where it's like, okay, I'm always stressed out about like all the back end. Like we need to sell this many tickets, and we need to get here at this time. We need to make sure everyone's going to be here. We need to make sure all this stuff gets done. Once we get to the show, it's like, all right, this is what it is. We forgot everything. Great. Let's. Then we left that Ethernet cable in Detroit. Awesome. Where's your throne, Tony? Oh, it's gone.
Where's the
All right.
laptop, Zach? Oh, that's what that thing was.
Look, I packed it up.
We
all right?
we lost what 3 Ethernet cables on one tour.
Oh, yeah. That was bad.
And then the wireless.
Well, we eventually just started stealing the venues.
That was a different tour,
That was
but
bad.
yes.
I didn't mean to. It was
That
just
was
like,
pretty
hey, do you have an
good.
Ethernet cable I could borrow? And then I couldn't find the dude to return it after that. And so I was just like, I'm going to leave it on stage. And then we didn't have one for the next show either. And I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, live shows are fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about playing live?
Just getting to play the really heavy parts and throw my hair around. I think that's really my favorite part, honestly.
Samesies.
I love it when people come up after we play, and I can see how lit up their eyes are when they're telling me how excited they were that they just saw us for the first time
Yeah.
and stuff, and they didn't know who we were, and they're telling us how we kicked ass and shit like that.
Yeah.
You can always see it in their eyes that they're being like super honest and stuff, and that's always the dopest thing.
Yeah.
Because
Also-
I think we're garbage. I'm like, I hear every mistake that we make, and they're like, you guys sounded so good, you were so cool and stuff like that. I was like, well, you sound like trash tonight, man. But
Also, when a pit starts up organically and we don't have to say
oh
anything,
yeah,
that's the best fucking
I think
feeling.
I rarely notice that.
Yeah.
The one at that we got that video from at Paper Tiger when we played with Crown the Empire. I never knew that happened.
That was one of my coworkers. That was his brother who started that.
Nice.
Good on him. Make him come to more shows.
Mike's brother, come to our shows.
That was that was when that girl who I've never met posted that video of us and just happened to know my coworker. And she had a video of that pit. And I was like,
Yeah.
who are you? But
What do?
I think my favorite thing is seeing people in the crowd like singing along or like responding when you're actually on stage. It's super dope. My least favorite thing is breathing.
So you hate being alive?
No, I hate how much I have to work to be alive while also on stage. Especially when these guys start a song in the middle of a sentence.
I love
I'm in the middle of
love
like 2
fucking
shows
with
ago. I was
Joel.
in the middle of just.
Here's the thing:
talking to the
it would be
crowd.
so much easier for you to breathe if you just talked so much less in between songs.
And
No,
also,
we
like,
can't do that because you don't talk. And
We can
he
now.
hasn't been talking, and
We
he
can
didn't
just
have a
play
drop pedal.
things and stuff.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. Like I'll just turn on the delay and just play some real spacey shit. Like
It sounds
everyone,
exactly like
everyone
that.
is sufficiently entertained by that, and then you're just like talking for so long. and losing all this oxygen, and then it's like, all right, it's time to start the song now, and then I start the song, and you're like, what the fuck, Zach? Why?
That time, I said like 3 sentences before you started the song.
That's way too many.
That's so many sentences. Say 3 words.
I mean, I was gonna shout out all the bands we were playing with because they were dope.
You already did that like the song before, though.
No, I didn't do it at all. I was saving it for the last song.
Oh. Well,
You know what would also
It's
help?
okay.
If you don't smoke.
also that.
It actually drives me crazy when I see lead singers smoking. I'm not gonna lie.
It's for that rasp.
Because
man.
it totally
Yeah.
fucks up literally every
really
part
does,
that
yeah.
you use to sing.
Yeah.
Then he's got to relearn how to
Live.
do all that, how to sing.
Not really.
Relearn life.
Yeah. You gotta relearn how to be stressed at that point. It's not fun.
What's your writing process like?
It's pretty much
So
like,
you know how we argue with one another over
Yeah.
whether peanut butter should be crunchy or smooth?
It's
like
basically
stupid
that.
stupid shit like that. That's how we write songs too.
I don't think we've ever argued about that.
Oh, you weren't here for the stream last night.
Oh yeah, yeah. We argued about that over the stream last night.
Oh,
After
I don't care.
after we determined that Chex Mix were chips.
My official message is I don't
Chex
care.
Mix are not chips. That's a snack mix.
Oh, we can't get into this right now, man.
Wait.
Shut up.
Cheetos chips.
No.
Here's the thing. I believe that parts of Chex Mix could be chips.
There are literally things
I told
called rye
you.
chips.
All right,
within
I won't
Chex Mix.
disagree with that.
Definitely aren't.
Because
I
a
don't
real
care. I
pretzel
don't care.
isn't what the snack pretzel
So
is. A
for-
real pretzel is like a donut almost.
Shut
But,
up,
like,
Zach. We can't get into
Pretzels
this.
are donuts?
Yes,
Is that
because
what
they're
you're
salted
saying?
donuts.
Our pretzels donuts.
Anarchy.
I never asked for this.
I actually don't know that I would disagree with that statement.
Right?
So
Makes sense.
this new
More
album
bagel than donut.
that we're
Yeah.
putting out near the end of the summer, August 4th, Zach, Joel, and I spent 8 months writing it. And literally, I'd get off work at like 11 or midnight, and I'd sit down at my computer with Zach and a guitar and stuff, and just write till 5 in the morning. And then I'd pass out. We'd both pass out, and I'd go to work the next day, get off at 11 or 12, and then do the same thing every day for 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad. We were all working like 60 hours a week,
hmm
and then writing like probably 15 to 20 hours a week, and it was real tiring.
Yeah.
Just in general, most of the time
I was spending a lot more than 15 to 20 hours
I think
during that writing process. It was literally every single night I was putting 5 or 6 hours into working on those demos and stuff before I'd pass out every single day.
I think the haggardness really shows through the music, though, in like a good way.
Yeah.
Like it translates over really well.
And me being like an hour away, I wasn't here for like most of that.
Also, he was like joining the band while this was going on.
Yeah.
Because we had basically 2 people dip in the middle of the
Yeah.
writing process. And so it's just like, all right, well, we're having to do everything now. And so we're also in the middle of writing the new album. We're trying to find new people to replace those people. And so it was a whole,
so like
it was very stressful
And
time
playing
period.
shows.
yeah, when
And
I
playing
when I
shows.
joined this band, they were like, "Hey, we have a show in 2 weeks. Learn 5 songs." Okay, done. Hey, we have a show next week. Learn 3 more.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like, because
All
we
right.
were trying to get you caught up. The show we played right before the first show with you, we had like 20 songs available that we could play
Yeah.
from there.
Oh yeah, I know.
20
I know
or
the
25.
background to it.
So when we told you to play 5 songs for this first show, that was a severely cutting down our set list,
Yeah.
like to what is absolutely crucial that we play.
We played that set list basically. We added like 2 songs, and we have not played anything other than those songs. We played that from December of what 20.
No, it was February.
yeah, it was the first show was February.
Was it?
It might be like
Yeah.
February.
The last show with Tony was
February
December 30th.
until last month.
Yeah.
So for like 14 months, we only played those songs, and we all are super excited to play the new album.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
definitely,
so
yeah.
ready. So ready to play the new album.
Because it was like, "Hey
Let's
Sam,
throw
learn
down
these songs on
some.
drums." Okay. Oh hey, learn these on bass now. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then learn the entire new album on bass. Okay, whatever. That's my life.
That you didn't write at all.
yeah,
That
I
I
didn't
wrote.
write it all.
I wrote all of it.
Yeah, the overall writing like process tends to be it usually starts with like some vocal stuff where I'll come with lyrics or vocals or whatever. Then me and Zach will work on it. Sometimes I've got piano that I've written. Occasionally I've got a little guitar, but I try not to do much guitar anymore. So then me and Zach will work on it. He'll come up with some guitar. Then we'll start doing the demos and flesh out a whole song and work on like structure and stuff like that. And even with that, we spent 8 months writing this album and
Still came down to
so much of it.
Oh yeah.
it. Still came down to crunch time too. Like we spent 8 months writing the 11 songs,
And that
12 songs or
song
whatever.
barely worked on.
Yeah,
The 12th song hadn't been worked on at all. And we were like, we're only going to do 11 songs on this album. And our producer's like, well, let me hear it. Oh, this is a good song. We're going to do it. Damn it.
oddly
That
enough,
song
that one's
actually
one of
came
my
out.
favorite ones now.
Yeah.
That song came
too.
out freaking
I really
awesome,
did
too.
not want to do that song, but it's
Me either.
one of my favorite
It's
ones
good.
now.
It's good. It just, I was like, no one has even listened to this except me.
Until now.
Yeah.
We all judged you. Just know that.
And who are your influences?
Oh God.
Oh.
So we have a section on our website that has all of our members on there and stuff, and it has our top 5 albums, which I would say are probably our top 5 influences
I would say so.
in there pretty strongly. So I've got Brand New on there. I absolutely love Brand New, especially their Devil and God album. It's absolutely amazing. Coheed is a huge influence of mine. Like I modeled my style of bass playing off of Mick Todd and now Zach. I forget Zach's last name, but their new bassist Zach.
It's me.
It's
He's
Wasn't
been doing that
announced
on the
yet.
side.
Letting it out of the bag.
right. I also took a lot of song structure influence from Coheed, a lot. Huge Chiodos fan as well. So Chiodos is definitely heavily influenced, really with all of us. Who else do I have on there? Dance Gavin Dance, for sure. I love Wolf Swan's guitar work. I love Tim Feerick's bass tone. I love that guy. Who's the last band I have on there? I don't know.
That might be the easier way to do this.
Dance Gavin Dance, Chiodos, Brand New, Coheed. And then, if you ever heard of Atmosphere, Minnesota rapper,
Maybe.
I can pull influence from there
He's
too.
hot shit.
Why not? He's amazing. Slug's dope.
Yeah.
Slug's sick. My influences, well, if we're doing the top 5 albums that I wrote down 2 years ago, it might not be entirely accurate. I'll just freestyle some. I know Andrew Jackson Jihad,
Oh, Fall
their
Troy,
album
duh.
Can't Maintain, is probably, that album probably influenced my life the most out of any music that I've listened to, just because, it kind of perfectly encapsulates, shut up. That's a big-ass word. You can't say
Mercutio?
it. Perfectly encapsulates, my entire, kind of life philosophy before I even really knew what it was, and just, everything that was said on that album just resonated really hard with me. As far as instrumentally, I guess, any Tool album, really. I just really love the whole psychedelic droney type stuff mixed with hard rock. It's just the best combination to me. And then just a bunch of death metal, just Behemoth, Nile, Revocation, stuff like that. Just really incredibly fast guitar and just technical stuff. And anything that incorporates jazz on top of that, it's just great. But yeah, that's pretty much all my influence. And then
So, I don't really have an influence for bass because I haven't picked it up till now.
Yeah.
I get it back up again till now. So with drums, it was just pretty much any metalcore, post-hardcore band I was into at a time. There was back when I first started, it was Bullet Valentine, Moose, that guy is a god. And what's it called? And randomly, it was just the drummer for All Those Sleeping, Ethan. It was the Slipknot, even Joey Jordison. It was the drummer of Secrets, Joe. You know what I mean? It's just I wanted to be like them, so I would just spend hours in my shed covering those songs the best I could and just picking up techniques and just certain styles from that. On the band page, it's just completely random. I thought of my first top 5 in literally 10 minutes, not even.
Yeah.
So obviously the Justin Bieber's on there. Like, that album is fucking killer. I don't care what anyone else has to say. I'm a huge country fan. I get shit on a lot for it. I love country music. I don't care who knows it. But Ronnie Atkins is on there. You got Manson, Bullet for My Valentine, and Linkin Park on that as well. Growing up, my parents were all country Tejano. There was no, like, rap. There was no rock. So I had to discover all that on my own.
Yeah.
So it was either learn to be miserable or learn to love it.
Yeah.
So I just basically looked to the bright side of that. So I could go from listening to fucking Whitechapel Cannibal Corpse to George Strait or fucking Willie Nelson. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But can you mash them together?
Bet.
Death Country. I'd be so down.
Death Country sounds like an Avenged Sevenfold album.
Yeah,
God.
it does.
I'm a go.
What about you, Joel?
So I was like 8 or 9, and my brother bought a couple Emery albums, and that was when I decided I wanted to start looking up my own music. So Emery is definitely a huge one. They have 2 lead vocalists. They do a ton of harmonies. They technically have 4 screamers in their band, and they do a lot of like sad emo hardcore music that's got a little bit of a prog element to it if you listen to like their tempo changes and stuff like that. Aside from them, like after that it was just all like discovery. I'm hugely influenced by Thrice, especially in the way I do my vocals. My Chemical Romance, which I know is a pretty generic answer, but I listen to them constantly. And then the Deer Hunter is probably the biggest current one right now. The Deer Hunter is, a lot of people tell me they're prog rock, but they're just super weird. Like half the time a lot of prog rock is very guitar focused. They are not.
Art rock
at all.
is the word you're looking for. Yeah.
They're really good. I've been listening to them a lot, and aside from that, I've listened to hundreds of different bands, but those are the big ones that I'd want to name.
So, fun fact, I used to hate My Chemical Romance.
Well, you used to be.
So, like cable we had was Time Warner, and they had like the music on like Demand Music Choice, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how I found most of my music, you know. And so I was like, oh, let me check this band, My Chemical Romance. Okay, whatever. I don't know what that means. Let's see. I see this guy with pink hair appear in a yellow jumpsuit in a desert, and I was like, this is gay.
Wow, you got into them super late, dude.
Yeah, I know. And then I heard the old stuff, and I was like, this is phenomenal. This is great. This is the bee's knees.
Man, I'm so old. He's talking about listening to My Chem's old stuff. I was there when it was released.
Right.
I remember it being released.
One of the
I
first,
remember like going to
You are
Warped
6
Tour,
years older than
and it
me.
was like right after I'm Not Okay came out, and
Yeah.
they had the biggest crowd, and it was ridiculous.
My first
That's
concert was 2009 Mayhem Fest with Manson, Killswitch, and Bullet for My
I
Valentine.
was at that one.
With
That
like
was a dope show.
with Whitechapel and the Black
Yeah.
Dahlia Murder, Bikini
Yeah.
Myth. Dude, it was so
Dude,
good.
that pit was
So-
insane. The Whitechapel pit. Did you see the dude with his head cut open that was just walking around?
Dude, that
Oh my
like
God.
I was in 8th grade and some like white girl offered me weed and I was like, no, I'm okay. you're gross. Go away. Oh man, and I fell asleep during Slayer, dude.
I still hate you for that.
I know, like, I
every
was
time
like-
you bring up the story, I hate
okay,
you a
so,
little
like,
bit more.
We go inside the AT&T Center, right? We're sitting down, we're chilling, and they come on. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty high. Okay, let me see them live, whatever. Fall asleep. I wake up like 30 minutes later, and I was like, dude, are they still playing the same fucking songs? I thought it just like goes off for a minute, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no, dude, like this is their last song. Like you slept through their whole set. I was like, dude, this sounds like the exact same song that they fucking started with. And then Bullet came on or whatever, and they're like, Manson came on. It was
But
great.
Bullet's
Manson
so much
came
more
on.
diverse. Such a more diverse soundscape of sounds to choose from.
I know I'm
Of,
awful.
whining
I've
and
come to
yelling.
terms with this.
Sorry, I'm a little salty about people not liking Slayer. It's just like
It's weird. Me and Zach are so different, but at the same time, we're the same.
What you're feeling right now, Zach, is exactly what I was feeling last night when you were shitting on Coheed.
I was only doing that to fuck with
I know you were
I don't
too,
even
but it was
believe any of that
working.
stuff.
It was absolutely working. I was getting baited so hard.
We've listened to Coheed together
I know Coheed's, and I strangely enough, when I first heard Coheed, I fucking hated Coheed
Yeah, me too. And then you got me into them, and I hated you
because
for it.
I first heard Welcome Home back in high school, and when I was in high school, I was going through this like deathcore phase, this
Yeah.
brutality phase. I was all about Bring Me the Horizons, Count Your Blessings album, and just like the heavier and more blech it
Y'all
is.
remember Job for a
And
Cowboy?
Coheed
better,
is not
yeah.
that
Job
at
for a
all.
Cowboy.
Yeah,
So good.
and then I hear Claudio over here with and stuff. I'm like, this guy sounds like a girl. I hate him. He's not brutal at all. Get out of here. I hate this. Oh my god. And now they're like my favorite band of almost of all time.
Yeah.
To get back to MCR though, like when I was discovering MCR, I would get recommended to them by the emo kids at middle school.
This isn't Pantera.
Yeah, and so I was like, gross. And then one of the first people that I used to jam with in middle school, the guy who I played drums with back then, like, we played Paramore and MCR and stuff, along with Pantera and all the stuff that I wanted to play.
Wow.
So, like...
How would you managed to piss off your entire crowd at once?
Well, we didn't play any shows. We were just learning songs to learn them, and, like, that was just what we did. And we learned Black Parade and Misery Business, and also Mouth for War, and like Angel of Death and stuff like that. It was a very weird time, but it was really fun.
Quite the eclectic mix
I was
there.
confused.
And who do you listen to that you think would surprise people?
Well, everyone already knows I listen to Justin Bieber.
That's not surprising.
I feel like most people would not expect that I like actively listen to Run the Jewels, or
No.
Common, or I don't know, like Busta Rhymes and shit.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I feel like nobody would expect that I can actually get into hip hop and rap
Yeah.
a lot.
I think, I feel like it's getting a lot easier for us nerdy pale folk
Well,
to
yeah.
get into
So,
hip hop recently.
What?
But
Zach,
I would say Run the Jewels is probably one of the more accessible to like the
Oh, for sure.
rock thing
'Cause
because they're
they're
very
kinda
much of like the
blown up
Run
right now.
DMC like hard as fuck vibe
Yeah.
like as far as production goes. Freddie Gibbs is the one that like if I put Freddie Gibbs on, people are like, holy fuck, why did this white ass dude put this on right now? This
So-
doesn't make any sense. And like I think that's the one thing that like people don't expect is like
Zach,
the Freddie Gibbs, like,
you know what I listen to. What do I listen to that surprised you?
Blood on the Dance Floor.
I don't listen to Blood on the
Yeah.
Dance Floor.
Okay, mindless self-indulgence then.
Okay, I love Mindless.
Okay, mindless self-indulgence is like awful. I absolutely despise them, and he put them on at one point, and I was like, please God.
It's so
kill
weird
me
because
now.
like you like old school punk and shit like that, and this is like that
Self-indulgence isn't,
crazy
like, old
insanity.
But it's like cringy raver punk. It's awful. Like-
It's dope.
I
love
pissed
it.
Joel off
oh, really?
with a song.
What was that? Melanie Martinez, right?
No, it was Paris Hilton's
That was me.
The Stars Are Blind.
Why?
Oh, Paris Hilton's music. Yeah, that's what I put mindless self-indulgence on. It's probably right around there.
The song ended and Joel was like, I hate everything about this song.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not
Yeah.
ashamed. I love that song. Not even a little bit ashamed.
Yeah.
I listen to old Taylor Swift.
Old Taylor Swift is God tier.
I listened
Oh,
to
Taylor Swift is pretty good.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is a person I want to
Yeah.
punch her in the face.
Same.
The new stuff is awful.
I don't think I can
That's
say
it.
that.
Everything,
That new
in my
album
opinion,
is-
everything before that, when we were in the studio and she released that single, I forgot what it was called because it was so awful. But everything before that was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good.
Who else?
Joel, who's your dirty little secret?
All American Music.
I was literally about to make that joke.
See, we're the same person.
Honestly, not really. I feel like most people wouldn't be surprised by me listening to a lot of stuff. The last one was Devin got really weird with me when I put on Sufjan Stevens. She's like a folk artist, and we were driving back from Dallas, I think. I put on some of his stuff, and Devin's like, "What is this? Why are we listening to this?"
What
Devin
surprised?
has a very small box that he
Sticks
listens to music in.
What?
He has he's still in high school. He'll
Yeah.
get there.
What
He'll grow.
surprised me was that band with the what was that? The whipped cream music video.
Oh, Ludo.
Yeah, that was. I was like,
they're
Ludo's
great.
awesome.
I didn't. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm just like, Joel.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I listen to pop punk. I just listen to good pop punk. And that doesn't include Blink 182.
It really doesn't. I'm sorry, guys.
They're so good
Apologize.
though.
No, they're foundational. They aren't good.
They influenced an entire generation of pop punk.
Right.
Travis Barker influenced an entire
Travis-
generation of pop
Travis
punk.
Barker makes it.
You
Tom
can be
DeLonge
the-
made Angels and Airwaves.
You can be the first thing and not be good at it. Look at the. First
They're not the
Soda
first
Stream.
thing.
Look at the first iPhone.
They're not even the first
How
one.
good are they compared to all of the upgrades that they've made since then? They suck in comparison, but they were the first ones.
I want anyone and everyone that ever listens to this podcast to know that I do not support anything that Joel is currently saying.
Me either.
Yeah, same.
Blink-182 is an amazing band that has done
I agree.
amazing things.
Yeah,
They're an
really
okay
bad
band that
numbers,
have done some okay things.
Just in general.
I'm
I will
one
fucking
of
jam
What they do,
Emma the
they
State
do well.
until I'm dead.
Yeah, they're not a band that needs to be phenomenal.
Today is better than Blink
Exactly.
182. Shout
I
out.
will defs admit that Forever Starts Today is better than Blink 182.
They don't need to be the best vocalists. They don't need to be the best guitar players or
the best
I
bassists
songwriters.
disagree.
Oh, I'm aware
or
of
the best
that.
songwriters.
I'm aware
They
of
just have
that.
to do
I
it
just don't
well
like
enough
any of
to
them.
entertain people,
Yeah.
and they are
That's exactly what they did.
absolutely phenomenally amazing entertainers.
I am not entertained.
Yeah,
Okay.
nor am I.
You don't have to be. That's okay. I respect your opinion.
Your incredibly wrong opinion.
No matter how wrong.
My mom always told
I mean,
me.
no-
Rhythm guitarist
no
defending
effects did it
Blink
better. That's all I'm gonna
182,
say.
The lead guitarist saying they're bad musicians. This fits.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's fitting right into their niche perfectly.
If you could write with anyone, alive or dead, who would you want to write with?
Oh, dude, Jimi Hendrix.
Why would you not say niche?
Why would I? Niche can't play an instrument.
He doesn't have to.
Also, he would be so depressing to be around.
I know.
Just like
That's how you write.
Jimi Hendrix for sure.
Yeah.
Because we'd probably have a friggin' great time, and he'd also probably outshine me on guitar a whole lot. But it'd be awesome.
I would
Oh,
love
You would
to
enjoy
write.
every minute of it.
Yes,
That's all
exactly.
That matters.
I would love to write with Jordan DeSorbo.
You already did that.
Boo.
Lame.
No, like write full songs
Oh,
Yeah.
and stuff.
You're bad.
too bad.
How did this happen?
And it's mostly because I have no idea how I would be able to interact with anyone else I could write with, you know, but we've worked with him and stuff. And, like, I think it'd be super dope to, like, actually sit down without having anything prior and, like, write a Call Me King song with
Yeah.
Jordan, you know? That'd be hella dope.
Sam?
That's what I'm thinking. It's like,
Or Brent Walsh from I the Mighty.
Casey Crescenzo, hands down, not even close. Followed by Dustin Kensrue, and then
I know what else person people are.
all of Don Broco.
Oh, man.
Okay, riding with Don Broco would be awesome.
I
Just to be lit as hell the entire time.
So I don't think we'd really do much writing, but I really just want to hang out with Post Malone. Like, that's it. Like, that's it.
I don't get why people like Post Malone.
I love Post Malone.
I'm sorry.
I like
Post
I get
Malone
it.
is the Blink-182
Why are
Yeah.
you
in their
saying
opinion
Exactly.
of
I honestly
modern hip hop.
I
don't
just
know.
I
I've
also
tried
Like, I just want to be
to
like,
get into it.
have a drink with me, brother.
yeah, that's mainly
That's it. Like,
Like,
we wouldn't write. We wouldn't
I
do
don't
anything.
even I don't even care for a lot of his music a lot of the time. I just love the way he carries himself in his interviews and stuff like
That
that.
too.
He just seems really chill.
I did watch an interview with him that was kind of adorable.
Yeah,
so,
like,
I
he
mean,
seems
he
awesome.
Seems like a cool guy. I
Mhm.
just can't get into his music.
Yeah, it's same. Like I like a couple of his songs. Like I like Rockstar and
Am I crazy for feeling like a lot of his music feels really manufactured?
no.
Right? Like,
It doesn't mean it can't be well manufactured.
yeah, but it sort of, for me at least, takes away kind of
I mean,
the
it's-
authenticity of it.
Of hip hop, yeah, but I mean, hip hop hasn't been authentic in a minute. Not at least
Yeah.
popular hip hop. I mean, look at friggin' Lil Xan and Little.
I can
any
the
other,
Lils.
and all the Lils.
Literally
all
every
the
little
Lils.
I can
that happened.
heavily
after,
respect
like,
what Post Malone is doing
I think
and
the
stuff,
whole thing is that
but I
he-
can't like enjoy it.
I think the whole thing is like he's in that vein of like all the Lil guys, like all together. Like
Yep.
musically he's in that vein, but I can actually stand him when I hear him talk in like in interviews and
Yeah.
stuff. All the Lil Xan people are all like zombies.
Okay,
like
so-
they are constantly on bars all the time, and I hate it.
So, I'm an open mind guy, right? I listen to things before I judge. So, like, I hear a lot of things about Lil Pump or whatever, and I hear, like, pieces of it. I actually sat down and listened to a song of his. I felt like I got dumber.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, like, I see, like, if you're on Instagram, you know, you have, like, the Explore page, and, like, I just see how he talks and how he acts, and I'm just like, dude, like, how? How is this popular?
Mm-hmm.
How is this getting anywhere?
Yeah.
It's because for music like that, no one's really paying attention to it because it's getting played in clubs and stuff like that. So you're doing other things while you're doing that. And so if the same thing gets repeated over and over again, you don't notice because you're drunk as hell.
Just say Gucci Gang 500 times and you have a song.
Yeah, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. Gucci Gang.
The music isn't made for people like us. You know,
Yeah, it's just not our
Yeah.
thing.
like we're being in the industry and being musicians ourselves. Like we're conditioned to analyze
Yeah.
music,
But I will say, like,
and that music's not supposed to be analyzed.
but yeah, basically
Not
all
even
I'm
a
trying to
little
say
bit.
is that in that whole genre of music or whatever, Post Malone's probably the best one of those dudes.
Yeah, like, I mean,
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah. It's not saying that it's particularly good, but
I
it's
actually
best
really
out of
like
those.
pop music. Like unapologetically, I will listen to anything. It doesn't have to like be super deep.
Yeah.
But I can't.
his new album though is amazing. I listened.
I've seen mixed reviews on it.
Back.
I have to.
It's
On my
it's
Facebook.
very polarizing from what I've seen. It's like you either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that with everything?
I'm okay with one song, and that's just because G-Eazy is on it. So
That one.
See, G-Eazy is another artist that's very polarizing. Either you love him or you
Yeah.
hate him. You know, everybody I know that
love
likes
G-Eazy,
G-Eazy loves G-Eazy. Everybody I know that doesn't like G-Eazy fucking hates G-Eazy.
this is true.
Can't stand that dude. Sorry.
It's all good. What's your favorite song to cover? If you cover songs.
Oh, we've done several covers and
Yeah.
stuff. And we had some really fun ones. I was always a huge fan of covering "Dead" by My Chemical Romance.
That was an awesome song.
Such a dope song. What
I
else have we
liked
covered?
I'm Made of Wax, Larry, just because of that breakdown. In the,
Where's Best Friends is so amazing, so dope.
So much fun to sing and just so like.
That intro is just yeah.
we could probably bring.
I
that
love
one
how
back.
we have 3 or 4 songs on the new album that intro as hard as Word's Best Friend Become Redefined too. It's super dope, you know.
So I've never been in a band where we can actually sit and play a cover through and through. So me by myself, any Bullet for My Valentine song, any For All Those Sleeping song, and any country song I've played. There was that one time where we covered Disturbed in the garage, that one song.
That
Accidentally.
was a half.
Yeah,
that was
like
such
a half-ass.
half-assed.
It was like,
Like
and it was okay, I guess. I mean, I'd do it again.
it was hilarious though
Yeah.
because we had our I had my drop pedal on and I was in like an octave below what my normal tuning was, so it basically just became like a
Drop trash.
like a deathcore cover of Disturbed, and I was like, "This is sick."
Alexis, when she was here, chilling in the living room, we were playing it, she recorded the whole thing.
Really?
And it sounds so good.
Okay, so honestly, my favorite cover that I've ever played wasn't in this band. It was in Dancing with Geppetto when we covered 70 times 7
Oh yeah,
by Brand New.
I'm sure
And
that's your favorite.
specifically the time when we played it at Sidewinder when we opened for Assuming We Survive, that crowd loved it.
Yeah.
They got so into it. So much so that the vocalist from Assuming We Survive came out as we were taking our gear off stage and was like, yo, that Brand New cover, I haven't heard that song in so long, and you guys killed it.
Yeah.
That was so good. And I was like,
Nice.
dude, thanks. I fucking love that song.
Yeah.
And then it played at Jimmy
Yeah.
this past Wednesday, and I lost my mind, and half the people there didn't know what song that was, and they're like, what's happening? And I'm over there just like, everyone caught on to everything you knew.
What's your favorite Austin venue to play?
Come and take it live.
I'm gonna take it live for sure.
Not even-
Not even close.
Hands down.
I
Moly.
fucking love Come and Take It. So
Sidewinder is a close number 2,
yeah.
I'd say.
No, it's
It's
not.
not close.
It's not close, but it's
outside,
definitely
and I
number
died.
2.
Like the last
It's
time we
also
played
inside.
there was in the middle
But the
of
inside
summer
stage is good.
outside, and it was like 100 and some degrees on
That wasn't the last time we played there.
That was me in February. That was
It was
the
with
last time we played.
Blind Wish, and it was like 65 degrees outside, and it was
Maybe
amazing.
not the last time. The time before that, when Brandon was there,
That was the
Yeah.
first time we played at
That was
Sidewinder.
was that the first time?
Yep.
Yep, that was the no, was that the
It was
show?
Call It Home and Serona.
No, it was Serona.
My
Serona? Is that what it is? Yeah. It was the show that Nick booked us, and that was the very first time we ever played at Sidewinder. It was also the first time we, quote-unquote, headlined a show, and there was like 3 people there.
Yeah.
My favorite venue though ever is White Oak Music Hall.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
That-
that was
yeah.
You know what's ironic? So somebody on the stream we were doing last night with Jordan asked us what our favorite venue to play was. Like that's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we all said
Yeah.
too. White Oak Music Hall is
White
our
Oak was
favorite
great,
venue
'cause,
we've
like
ever
that
played.
stage was massive. You felt like a rock star just walking on there.
Yeah.
You didn't even have
Yeah.
to play anything. And then they had a really nice green room with like a forest backdrop, a microwave, a fridge.
A shower.
A shower, like a really
Shower.
nice shower.
And
Yeah.
like with
Their green
stock
room was
shampoo,
nicer
like
than
hotel shampoo.
any
And,
hotel room.
A whole crew dedicated to like your needs and what you,
Dude, they were
Moving your
so-
gear
they were
and
so
stuff.
sick.
It was
That's
awesome.
awesome.
So
Venue was
That was-
shout out to them.
Yeah.
We love you.
Shout out
Also-
to Emery taking us out
Yeah.
on tour
Yeah.
and taking us there.
And also to the people that showed up to that show, because we played that show like a week after Harvey happened,
Mhm.
and we didn't expect anyone
Half
to
of
show
Houston
up.
was
And-
still underwater at that
yeah,
time.
and
Yeah.
like 400 people showed up. It was
That's
dope.
awesome.
It was sick. That place was full. Yeah.
Good times.
Where can we find your music?
Literally
Nowhere.
everywhere.
Anywhere that you can stream music online. So that's primarily Spotify, Apple Music,
Google
Google Play, Amazon Music,
YouTube.
YouTube, iTunes, of course. You can also, if you want to directly support us, you can go to our website, wearecmk.com, and you can purchase all of our music there, both digitally and physically.
The physical CD is really dope. You should buy
yeah.
it. We have a lot of them.
Yeah, we have plenty of them.
Please buy them.
We have 3 music videos currently on YouTube, so you can check those out there. We're going to have some more soon, coming up soon. So pay attention to our YouTube page and go subscribe that. That's also youtube.com/wearecmk. And you can get all your updates for when we want to do things like this cool podcast and the cool stream we did last night and music videos that will be dropping soon and shows that we'll be playing soon, like the one next week with Escape the Fate at Come and Take It Live.
That's going to be an awesome show.
By following us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all We Are CMK.
But are we CMK?
We are indeed CMK.
We are all CMK.
I can't read.
This will probably be out end of June, beginning of July.
Okay.
Do you have any shows after that?
Beginning of July 8th, I want to
Hold
say.
on, I have the list right here.
We're playing with a band called Rest Repose, which you may have heard of. There's a gentleman by the name of Jared Dines that plays drums in that band. A couple
guitar
people
now?
know who he is. Oh, he plays guitar now. These are things I didn't know. That's the only show we have booked in July currently, I believe so. The only show we have booked in June is actually at the beginning of June. We're playing with our really good friends in this band called Glasslands. A guy named Jordan DeSorbo plays guitar in that. And a gentleman named Josh Kinchlow, and I probably butchered his name, does vocals. And a phenomenal young gentleman named Brandon Mullins plays drums. And I love them all dearly.
Big shout out.
Big shout out.
They're so good.
Bigliest shout out to Glasslands.
Big homies.
Asklands.
Asklands?
You guys want to play a song? Maybe?
Oh, what do we want to
What song do we wanna
play?
play?
I wish I'd never said those words. Wish I'd never sung this verse. This war was never worth your life. Your life was worth 1,000 lives. scarlet sun hung bright over barren lands as we prepare to fight in these forgotten sands. Banner we had raised, the one of peace we'd made, wanted to be free, free from our history. Day after day we'd walked with wars inside our thoughts, tried to tell ourselves we'd made the right choice. Why do we stand for this? Why are we falling for this? What is worth this kind of life? As we fell one by one, the sand beneath turned red, with nothing but the sun, mourning for our dead. We marched throughout the day to earn our victory. It almost seemed we'd won, and then my heart stopped. Until that day, the day you fell, I always thought I knew of hell. But that was when I saw your eyes, your broken frame, empty inside. Why do we stand for this? Why are we falling for this? What is worth this kind of life? We're dying so we can have lives, fighting, but we don't realize that peace never comes at a fair price. Your eyes see right through me, down to the soul that I've tried to hide. Your eyes, they consume me. I take a breath as I start to die with you. With you. And as we raged in war, I watched your body torn. Beneath that blood-red sky, my world became your eyes. As they filled with pain, the blood flowed from your veins. My hands and arms grew weak. Then I heard you speak. Take my hand one last time. Hold me close one last time. This is the end of my life. I said, darling, please don't leave me lovely. I can't keep living without you here in my life. Why do we stand for this? Why are we falling for this? What is worth this kind of life? We're dying so that we can have lives, and trying to pretend we don't mind. The peace never comes at a fair price. This is not life, it's a reason to fight, and I will not be denied. We're coming for you tonight. 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 You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Julie's Infinite Playlist. This podcast was created, edited, and produced by Julie Roth, with help from Nick Colbert, and special thanks to Nikki Nadeau. The theme song was created and produced by Animal Abstract. All of the songs performed belong to the musicians performing them. If you like the podcast, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts, and subscribe on Google Play, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Stitcher, and share it with your family and friends. Find us on Facebook and Instagram to keep updated on the podcast and when the bands featured are performing in Austin. Also, check us out on Snapchat to catch videos from shows I go to, and maybe even some sneak peeks. 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 Peeks.